Hi, we're still watching the severe thunderstorm right now. It's pushed just south of Delaware County at this point into Franklin County, just north of Columbus. We just got a good downpour here. We are getting reports of pea-sized hail falling from the system. Now, radar indicated that hail could be as large as a quarter. We're also seeing some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This thunderstorm warning will expire at 5:30. Now, National Weather Service is also watching this cell off to the east of that. There is a hail core with that as well. We haven't seen it reached those severe thunderstorm thresholds yet, but we do have an eye on it. And we're dealing with some wildfire smoke causing some hazy conditions as we head into the overnight and into the day tomorrow. The good news is some relief is on the way. Unfortunately, that's going to come in the form of some severe thunderstorms. I'll track those out for you coming up in the forecast. You're going to hear us say this a lot over the next couple of days, that we have this risk for excessive rainfall. And what that means is we're just going to get enough rainfall to surpass flash flooding guidance. Now, the reason we're seeing these stronger winds is we have this low pressure system and this high pressure system, and this is what we call a pressure gradient. So these lines in between it, the closer they are together, well, the higher the wind speeds are in between them. So you can see quite a few lines here. Those are some gusty winds that will work their way into our area behind the front. Here's that line. I've added the storm fuel or the cape underneath it so you can see how it's going to tap into the energy. Tomorrow morning, those morning thunderstorms, that's going to tap into some energy left over from tonight. So that will continue to move through. We get a little lull, then here comes the main event right here. But notice as it starts working its way into central Ohio by about 10 a.m., there's not a lot of energy for these storms to feed off of. Then as we get into about 12:30, that's when this line is over Columbus. Again, though, still not a lot of energy just yet for this to tap into. This energy is really going to build, though, into eastern Ohio. And now you see these storms become more well-defined and more energized. And by about 2-3 o'clock, they really start to fire up. Here you can see a lot more lightning with that system that moved through earlier. And again, we've got this break in the rain, just allowing the atmosphere to re-energize. So these storms will have some energy to feed off of as they work their way through the area. Now, some good news that I'm seeing with this storm system is it does look like it's falling apart a bit. It's not quite as organized. You can see these massive hail cores, though. They've actually shrunk, if you can imagine that. They were much larger about 20-30 minutes ago. Now, this high pressure that was keeping us dry has pushed off to the east, and we're watching this low pressure system. This is a dry line. A dry line just separates moist air, this Gulf air, to the east of it, and dry air from the west. It acts like a cold front, so it's going to provide some forcing, and this is what may stir up a few thunderstorms as we head overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Let's just talk about what we have in the atmosphere this evening. We do have some instability. It's not the most unstable, but it's efficient enough to allow these storms to feed off of and energize. We're also seeing what we look at as a lifted index. Again, not particularly impressive. However, what we do have that is overcompensating for these things is wind shear. I was seeing wind shear anywhere from about 50 to 75 knots earlier this evening, and sometimes having an abundance of one is enough to make up for a lack of another. But we do have all three, and that's why we are seeing these stronger storms. You can see some fair weather clouds over the city right now, currently sitting at 72. Nice and refreshing outside, a nice cool breeze coming in from the north, and low humidity as well. Those systems that I'm talking about just starting to enter the picture now off the west coast. We're going to see this one to the south particularly race across the United States, bringing us some rainfall as we get into the late night tomorrow and into Friday. We kind of get hit with another 1-2 punch here, bringing another round of rain into the area Saturday. Then some cold air filters in. We may see a little bit of snow as we get into Sunday night. And then high pressure moves in, bringing us a break. But don't worry, another cold front's going to work its way into the area, and we're going to see the return of some winter temperatures.
Yes,
yeah.
Very hot.
So yeah, they have an omega block. That's what's kind of causing their issues. Ours is a heat dome, not quite an omega block, but heat's going to build in. It's on its way. Oof. Yeah, right now we've got another mild night a warmer day tomorrow, but you can still see some rainfall moving across, some rumbles of thunder in some of these systems as well, particularly where we're getting heavier downpours. Yeah, there was some lightning right there over Hocking County. It looks like that storm's kind of starting to fizzle out, but some stronger storms moving over Cincinnati at this point. Your D.R. Horton, America's Builder, current conditions. Look, some of us starting to fall into the 60s, upper 60s in the northern portion of central Ohio, lower 70s right now for the rest of us. We're not going to get a lot cooler tonight. We'll drop a few more degrees, but overall it's going to be a little warmer than average tonight. We're going to hold on to some cloud cover, but the storms are going to kind of fade out as we head into the morning. We could see some spotty showers though throughout the day tomorrow before things dry out and start heating up. I'm going to kind of harp on the heat for the next few minutes. So I explained we've got a heat dome building in, right? So high pressures building in across, well, really a good portion of the United States. And that sinking air kind of acts like a lid. It's going to limit clouds, limit rain. It's going to keep us dry. That air compresses and continues to warm over several days. Okay. And then as that dome stays, it's just hot, humid, and dry. Now, we've been getting some storms from the ring of fire from this. It's kind of the top portion of the ridge, but as the ridge builds in, that ring of fire is going to push further to the north. So here it is. You can see that jet stream right now kind of right over us, and that's why we're seeing the more active weather. But this ridge builds in, and now here comes the heat, and it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter until this eventually will start to break down. So we're going to see temperatures start to rise tomorrow. We'll make it into the upper 80s. It's going to feel like it's 90s. Minor to moderate heat risk for tomorrow. But as we go through time, that heat risk increase. Now we're moderate, major on Monday as those temperatures rise into the 90s. Then we're in the mid 90s, feeling like the hundreds, and that's when we see some major heat risk. And then again, you add to it, we get into that extreme category Wednesday because each day that heat sticks around, it becomes more and more dangerous the longer we're exposed to it. On top of that, those overnight temperatures are not cooling sufficiently, so we don't get a whole lot of relief from the heat. So I really want you to think about the preparations leading into what we're about to see. You're going to want to drink more water than what you normally do. If you work outside, if your kids are playing outside, try to take some breaks or schedule a few more breaks throughout the day to let your body cool down. You're going to want to wear lightweight, light colored clothing and try to avoid strenuous outdoor activity if you can. Temperatures holding in the 90s, even into Friday. We may add another heat alert to Friday. However, we do get some more active weather as we head into your 4th of July holiday. We're looking at the chance for some rain and thunderstorms.